How's it going, YouTube? This is Skullshirgle TCG, and today I am going to be doing something very special for you. With the Pokemon Nationals tournament coming up later this week, I've decided to go through and show a few decks that might potentially be the best decks of the entire country. So we're going to start with this one, and I need to preface this by saying I don't actually have certain cards that would make this deck absolutely perfect, but I did work with what I have, and you're going to probably see a few variants of this at Nationals in the United States. So I have called this deck Cheap Fighting, and the reason is it revolves mostly around this Hawlucha. The Hawlucha with Shining Spirit, damage from this Pokemon's attacks isn't affected by weakness or resistance. That doesn't really sound very good, does it? I mean, well, what if you're up against a Manectric that's usually weak to fighting? Well, that doesn't really matter at this point because you can pair this with a ton of other cards, which I'll get to later. And first of all, we have Flying Press, which does 60 for 1 energy. That's actually pretty good. Except for the fact that if your opponent's active Pokemon isn't a Pokemon EX, this attack does nothing. So all of a sudden, you're faced with, oh, so this basically means that it's only going to do 62 EXs? All that doesn't sound very good, does it? It sounds like a pretty pitiful Pokemon. 60 damage, yeah, it's EXs, but EXs have more than 60 HP, so how do you account for that? Well, we have several things. First of all, we have Strong Energy. When it's attached to Hawlucha EX, it adds another 20 damage. So all of a sudden that Hawlucha is doing, did I say Hawlucha EX? It's just Hawlucha, is now doing 80. Even more if you add on this card right here, Muscle Band, which adds another 20. So people do Silver Bangle since, you know, Hawlucha can only attack EXs anyway. But I like Muscle Band just because it's more of a better thing, especially if you're up against a deck with no EXs, and I will get to that. So now Hawlucha is doing 100 damage, and then the final topping on the cake is this stadium right here, Fighting Stadium. The attacks of each fighting Pokemon in play do 20 more damage to defending Pokemon EX. So now this Hawlucha for 1 energy is doing 120 damage. Again, that's not exactly a knockout, one-hit knockout, but it might potentially be when paired with these cards here. We have this Crobat. You very rarely want to use its swoop across attack. What you want it for is this sneaky bite ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Any Pokemon you want. So that's pretty darn good. And then pair that with this Crobat, which has Surprise Bite, same thing except 3 damage counters. So if you get a Golbat and a Crobat into play in the same turn and then attack with Hawlucha for 120, you're going to knock out a whole lot of EXs, which is pretty darn huge. Even if you're not able to, it's still a 2-hit knockout on basically everything, so that's pretty good. This deck also has 2 Landorus with Shout of Power, does 20, attach a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So if there's a Hawlucha on the bench, this is the energy acceleration. And then what if you're up against decks that don't have EXs? Well, that's why I have included this Absol, and this is where I deviate a lot from what normal people would do. Normally, people would include a Raichu line, 2 Pikachu, 2 Raichu with Circle Circuit. Unfortunately, I don't have Raichu in the TCGO for some reason. So I'm going to settle on this Absol with Mind Jack instead. It does 20, and then 20 more for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So let's say they only have 3 on the bench, then this is doing 80 damage. Add the Muscle Band, it's doing 100, that's pretty darn good. That's also why I have 2 Darkness Energy down here. I only have 1 Absol, so 2 Darkness Energy seems good. 4 Strong, 4 Regular Fighting to potentially attach to this Absol as the colorless, or to Golbat or Crobat in the unlikely but very real possibility that I'll have to use them. I also have 1 Execute just because I have a lot of cards here that discard cards from my hand, so it just really makes it nice. So let's look at what else we have. I run 2 Acrobike, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, discard the other. And I run 2 Trainer's Mail, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal a trainer card there, and put it in your hand, shuffle the rest back into your deck. This is really, really good because it can help accelerate your deck without really risking decking yourself out. You're only getting 1 card each time, and in Acrobike's case, sometimes you do want cards in the discard pile, like, say, the Fighting Energy or the Execute, so it could come in really handy. Of course, you do also run the risk of decking yourself out, so my ace spec of choice is Dowsing Machine. People go Scoop Up Cyclone, just to make sure that you can get the Golbat, Crobat, Zubat up out of your bench whenever you need to in a pinch. That's fine. I just found Dowsing Machine to be better because it keeps you from decking yourself out. Gets stuff back out of the discard pile because Lysander's trump card is of course banned. I also have one Escape Rope. Always just good to have one of those in there. I run 2 Sacred Ash because, like I said, risk decking yourself out. Plus, what happens if your entire Zubat, Golbat, Crobat line goes in the discard pile? Well, you can always just use Sacred Ash to put them back in your deck. The only downside to this is that if Execute's in your discard pile and you have 5 or less Pokemon, you have to put that back in your deck, but it's a small sacrifice I'm willing to make. I run 1 Starling Megaphone. I believe every single deck needs one. I run 3 Super Scoop Ups. Try saying that 10 times fast. I dare you right now. Leave a comment if you manage to. Flip a coin if heads. Put 1 Pokemon and all cards attached to it back in your hand. So if you get to the fully evolved Crobat, then you can use Super Scoop Up, and if you flip heads, those all go right back into your hand. 4 Ultra Ball is a must for this deck just because you rely on so many different Pokemon to do different things. I run 2 VS Seeker. I believe that's pretty much the norm by this point. 1 AZ, which I basically put in there as my substitute for Scoop Up Cyclone. Let's see, 1 Colress because, Colress is just a really powerful card, especially if you're going to have a ton of stuff on the bench. 1 Lysander. I really prefer 2 Lysander, 2 Starling Megaphone, but this deck really doesn't need those. We do have the standard 3N, but I only have 2 Juniper for one simple reason. Very rarely are you going to want to discard cards from your hand with this deck. Yes, you get 7 cards in return, but that's too big. Plus, Lysander's trump card is gone, you're going to risk decking yourself out. I've been through this before. I do run 3 Skyla, I just run 2 of these and then 1 of this Leak promo. So, Skyla's really good because it can get you all these items, it can get you a different supporter for the next turn. Most importantly, it can get the Fighting Stadium. It's the only card in this deck that can actually search out for stadiums outside of Dowsing Machine if it's in the prizes. And I've gone through basically everything else here, so yeah. Today, all day, I am going to be recording matches of me playing my different decks here on TCGO against people on Twitter. So I will see who I'm going to be facing right now, and whoever it is, I will be sure to leave a link to their Twitter in the description, so be sure to go check them out. And I will go and tweet out right now that I am looking for a game. Be right back. Okay, I'm going into a match now, and this is with Pokepacks and Plays. Once again, a link to his Twitter will be in the description. We'll just wait for him to accept the challenge. Hopefully he's actually online. I tried doing another one right before this, however, my opponent's internet just completely crashed, so they had to concede. Basically on his very first turn, so nothing really happened. Yeah, we're just going to have to see what happens here. My opponent lost the coin flip, so I'll go first. You always want to go first, basically, with every single deck. And I start with, not bad, a Hawlucha and an Absol. Hopefully my opponent plays a lot of or a lot of EXs in this deck. We'll see. And there's the Absol going to the bench. Okay! This is a mirror match! Okay, I did not see that coming. At all. Just going to go ahead and... Alright. I guess I'll get the Muscle Band. Okay. Put that there. And I'll just pass. This is a mirror match. I'm going to assume he doesn't have a single EX. Wow. I did not see that coming. We're going to see how... his deck is built. Oh boy. Have fun. Have fun indeed. Oh my goodness. Okay. He might have Raichu. I'm going to guess he actually doesn't. I'm just going to Escape Rope to get rid of that Zubat so we can't use it. And then Mind Jack for 60 and Knockout. And now, if I get something like... well, he would need to bench 2 Pokemon here in order for me to knock him out one hit. It's completely possible that I'll just... Oh, wait, whoa, there's the teammates. There's the teammates. I'm trying to get competitive matches for you guys, but these are the only people who are responding to me on Twitter. Plus, you might encounter this if you're going to be playing at Nationals. You might be... Okay, he does have the Landorus EX. You might be making this deck, and you might go against someone who plays the exact same deck, and it might just be a quick win for you. Who knows? Oh man, there's the Hammerhead. It might be a quick win for him. There's really nothing I can do against this thing. I can at least put that down and then Sacred Ash the Absol back in. Now what do I want to do? I guess I'll have to Skyla for... man, I really... this is not good. I really don't know what to do here. I need to get another Pokemon in play, but I don't want to have to Ultra Ball for one. I guess I'll have to. Don't really have a choice here. Oh, that was a good top deck. I guess he top decked the teammates, yeah. I guess I'll just Ultra Ball here. And I can't even attack with this Hawlucha. This is not good at all. This is not good. I guess I'll just get another Hawlucha. Man! Okay then. Pass. Let's see what happens. Landorus is probably the best variant of this. A lot of people play Landorus. I just don't have Landorus, and also, like I said, I don't have Raichu, so I was just making do with what I had. Oh man, but yeah, this will give you a good chance to see how the Landorus variant works. I mean, look at that. He was able to take out my Absol and almost my Hawlucha just in one turn with that Landorus. Okay, he did play a Computer Surge. Discarded a Fighting Energy and a Golbat. The Fighting Energy is not a bad thing, because he can always get it back with a Landorus regular if he plays it. I wonder what card he got. Computer Search, of course, makes it... Aw, come on! Man, and then he just Lysandered out the fresh Hawlucha. I need an amazing top deck here. I would basically need... Oh, he didn't knock it out, though. He won! He totally won. Oh, man. I'm trying to get a good game for you guys. Look at this. Oh, man. Well, okay. Okay, he said one more, so let's try a rematch. And then we'll see how the rematch works. I'm not expecting it to be any better because Landorus basically shuts down my deck entirely. I don't have it, he does, so he's probably going to win again. We'll just have to see. We'll try one more, and I'm hoping that I don't get completely knocked out just within the first few turns again. Looks like my opponent won the coin flip, and he's going to go first. Okay, he did not have a basic. And I have a Hawlucha and 2 Zubats, which is actually pretty good. We'll see what he starts with. And a 3rd Zubat, nice, okay. Oh, he's playing a different deck entirely now, okay. I was really hoping... Wait, no, maybe it's the same deck and he just has the Seismitoad EX in it for some reason. This might be just a Toad Bats deck. I really wish he had played the same one just to have a real rematch, but oh well. We see the Ultra Ball, and he's getting a Zubat again. Okay, then. And there's a Juniper. What do you get rid of? Golbat. I would have waited till next turn, honestly, but I guess he just really wants to get set up here. Okay. Yeah, this is just a different deck. His other one probably didn't run all these Seismitoads. For some reason, he put the DCE on the one on the bench. Probably just because he's getting knocked out. Or he's fearing getting knocked out here soon. I think I'll in. And come on. Okay, Acrobike. I guess I'll get the Hawlucha. And I could Ultra Ball here, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to go ahead and Flying Press for 100. If he gets a Float Stone, then great. But if he doesn't... You know, I should have Ultra Balled, because if he gets a DCE on this thing, then I'm not going to be able to use it next turn. But, oh well. It's no big deal. There's a Super Scoop Up of his, and is he going to flip heads? No. He really doesn't want the Seismitoad EX to get knocked out. There's the DCE. We will see the Quaking Punch here. And there's the Laser. Man. If he gets a Muscle Band, this Hawlucha is dead. If he doesn't, I can knock it out. But then I'll be knocked out by Poison going into his turn. Wait, no, there's the Sneaky Bite. So, yeah, I'm going to be knocked out. And I won't be able to use items either. However, I do have this Coal Rest, which will give me 7 next turn, so that's pretty good. Wait, he just played an end. Never mind. Okay, how best to combat this Seismitoad? Really, there's no real way. Seismitoad just completely shuts down this kind of deck. So, if you guys watch the regionals, the Madison, Wisconsin regionals stream, you will hear a bunch of people who are playing a deck either like mine or similar to mine, or exactly like mine, who are saying that Seismitoad was basically the instant knockout. I'm just going to evolve and then Sneaky Bite this Seismitoad. Now I can knock it out. Well, I think I was able to knock it out before anyway. Oh well. I should have Sneaky Bite something else. Sneaky Bit something else? Yeah. Okay, I do have now, so I guess I'll just go ahead and Flying Press for knockout. I should have done something else, but I don't know. For some reason, I just didn't do the math correctly, and I thought that Seismitoad would need the extra 20 on it. I should have targeted either one of those Zubat or the other Seismitoad, but I didn't. He wisely promotes his Golbat, which has free retreat, so you can always just get rid of that. There's the Enhanced Hammer, and there's another N. I do get my Absol, but my bench is full. I got the AZ, I can always bring up the Golbat and Zubat and then put the Golbat in something else. Okay, he's going to just do Quaking Punch for that. Now what am I going to do? I guess I could Skyla up, but for what? I can't get an item. I could get a supporter, but it wouldn't really make a difference. You know what? I'm going to just AZ up the Golbat and bench it and put the 2 damage counters on the active Seismitoad. Bench the Absol, put the Darkness Energy on the Absol and pass. That's what I'm going to do. Another Quaking Punch will knock me out here. Or even just a Sneaky Bite. Oh, no, not a Crushing Hammer. Oh, good. Tails. See, I really wish I could have built my deck better, but I'm just unable to because I don't have all the cards necessary to make it work. So I just did with whatever cards I have, and as you can see, that just wasn't good enough. I did get another Golbat off of that N of his, and a Muscle Band, and I am able to attack with Absol now, which is really good. With all this, it's going to be able to do 100 to this Seismitoad. Oh, there's the Sneaky Bite again. It's going to knock out this Hawlucha, I have no doubt. Yep, and now it's still his turn, too, because that was just an ability. I guess I'll promote my other Hawlucha because it has free retreat. There's a Crobat. Come on! So it's going to knock out this Hawlucha as well, basically taking his 2 prizes per turn that this deck is built to avoid. He's playing very, very good. I wish I could really show how this deck is supposed to work, but it's not built as good as it should be, and I really can't blame anyone but myself for that. Going to attach. Oh, I can't put down the Muscle Band. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to bench the Zubat, evolve into Crobat, or, yeah, Golbat. Juniper, I can put down the Fighting Stadium at least. I guess I'll just go ahead and Mind Jack for 80. Okay, it has 60 damage left. And the great thing is that Seismitoad is basically the only attacker. So, if I can knock it out, I'm fairly safe. But knocking it out is going to be a big pain because of all those Golbats on the bench that are just knocking out all my Pokemon. There's another Crobat. And I have 70, so he needs another 20 somewhere, and there it is, Hypnotoxic Laser. And I'm asleep. He could put down a Verbank and do enough to knock me out, or he can hope that I just stay asleep. And there'd really be no way for me to wake up. There's another computer search. Okay, no, there's a computer search, I guess I should say. Which I don't even have in this game, so yeah. There's the Verbank. Okay, he's just going to knock out this Absol. Bats Toad is another deck that you should really look out for. Basically, anything with Bats is just really, really good. And there's just no way I can stall. He has 18 cards left in his deck, as you can see up there. But there's just no way that I can stall long enough for him to deck out. It'd be nice, but there's no way for me to. Basically, Quaking Punch just and there's the Super Scoop Up. Are you serious? And it's a heads. My opponent's luck. Top decked the teammates last game, and now he's flipped heads on Super Scoop Up and on Hypnotoxic Laser in the same turn. It happens, but it's just unfortunate for me and very, very fortunate for him. And he just got rid of all that damage. I'm seriously thinking of conceding. There's no way for me to come back from this. Just going to Juniper, I guess. I can at least evolve into Crobat and put the damage counters on the Zubat, I suppose. Maybe I should have been doing that from the beginning. I'm going to just... Hold on. Yeah, I'm just going to Skill Dive on the Zubat and knock it out, take a prize. It was a Fighting Stadium, So at least I can get rid of the Verbank City Gym, but this just is not my game. I'm not going to win this. I need to knock out the Seismitoad and another Pokemon, and there's no way for me to knock out the Seismitoad. It's just too bulky. My deck is not built to take out the Seismitoad. There are plenty of decks that are like Virizion EX or Mega Manectric and stuff like that. There's plenty of decks that can take out Seismitoad, but my deck is not one of them. And there's an Ultra Ball. We're going to see what he gets. He might get another Zubat, might get another Seismitoad. Might not get anything. Maybe he doesn't have any Pokemon left in his deck. That'd be nice, but it's not going to happen. He's either thinking or he decided he wasn't going to get anything. Oh, he does get the Seismitoad, as I thought. Okay. I can't use my Super Scoop Up because of Quaking Punch. And there's the tails. So he was trying to pull up his Golbat Crobat line, I'm pretty sure. There's a Lysander. But did he just play Juniper this turn? No, I don't think he did. I think that was last turn. There's a Lysander. Bring up the Zubat. Quaking Punch knocks it out. Takes another prize. I can at least put down the Fighting Stadium and Skylift for something. Not much to really Skylift for. I guess the end for next turn. That's just really, really bad. Now I can Skill Dive. What am I going to Skill Dive? It doesn't matter because there's no way I can live long enough to do enough Skill Dives to knock something out. But I guess I'll go after the Seismitoad. And it turns out this is actually a much closer game than I thought it would be. There's a Repeat Ball, not a bad card at all. Repeat Ball, search your deck for Pokemon with the same name as one of your Pokemon in play, reveal it, put it into your hand. So in this case, he could get another Zubat, or a Golbat, or a Seismitoad, and he's just going to get his last Seismitoad. There's a Hypnotoxic Laser, and I am asleep. That's unfortunate. I can always just free retreat out of it, but it's just... There's another Juniper. Ooh, I might be able to stall long enough to deck him out. I don't think it's going to happen, though. There's the Verbank. Yeah, there's no way it can happen now. Yeah. And do I wake up? Nope. So it doesn't even matter. I would need to AZ here, and I just don't have an AZ left. He could literally pass and win, and I'm still asleep. Well, good game, Pokepacks and Plays. Good game. So yeah, I really wish that he had brought his other deck so it could be a real rematch, but oh well, we didn't talk about it. We just like rematched, and I said yes, and he just brought a completely different deck. And he's very close to decking himself out here. Yep, good game. So, unfortunately, this wasn't a very good showing of how this deck works, but it is a good showing of how my opponent's decks work. So, yeah, be on the lookout for those kinds of decks at Nationals. And that pretty much does it for this video. I'll have plenty of more videos going up over the rest of the week showcasing different decks and stuff like that. Hopefully you all stay around and watch those. Until then, I'm TCGO. Thanks everyone for watching.